Hello, my name is Paul Tedford. I'm the CEO of WM Synergy. And Bryan, I'm so excited to be talking about one of my favorite events of the year, Visual Focus.
Absolutely. Hey, everybody, I'm Bryan Foshee. I'm the president of Visual South. And yeah, Paul and I wanted to put together a video to talk about Visual Focus. And the first thing that we wanted to really do is say, what is it? Because at our last conference, we had over 100 people that had never been to Visual Focus before. And simply put, Visual Focus is an educational conference, everything about visual. And, wonderful networking opportunities, lots and lots of knowledge in one place. We're going to get to some of those details as we move. But first, some of the basics. Where is it? This year, it's in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the Mandalay Bay. And it's February 22nd to 25th. That's in 2026, which sounds like a long way away, but it's really not the way time moves. So that's a little bit of a longer clip. Typically, we're doing the conferences every 12 months. This is about 18 months since the last conference. So we did that based on some feedback from previous attendees. Everybody voted that they wanted in Vegas, and so we listened, and it's in Vegas. So another little detail here everybody always wants to know is how much does it cost? One of the things that we did differently this year is we included hotel in the price. So that's different from years past. Early bird is going on right now as we record this. It's $2,900 per person, and that ends on July 25th of 2025. As you know, if you've been to these conferences before, the price goes up a little bit. We do a discount for early birds. It'll go up to $3,200 through the end of the year. And then it goes up from there as we get really, really close to the beginning of the conference. So a wonderful event. Paul, you're going to tell everybody why they should go.
Absolutely. So heading to Vegas, why should you go? So there's two things that really make up the conference. There's education and networking. Education, it's about 120 plus educational sessions. Actually, this year, I think we broke our own record and are offering 132 educational breakout sessions, user roundtables, the visual roadmap session with Infor. This year, we'll be doing some demos live of the roadmap, new features that are coming out and how they help your company. One-on-one consulting with visual experts. And then there's networking, right? So the networking is really important. There's usually over 500 visual customers, plus you have all the consultants from both Visual South and WM Synergy, so usually around 60 consultants. You have about 10, 20 people from Infor, all the different independent solution providers or solution providers that have their own software are in there. So getting to talk to them, there's networking events, roundtables, welcome reception, things of that nature. So a lot of chance to learn from other companies just like you, what you could be doing differently or what they're doing. So for roughly about a day and a half of consulting, if we were to come on site, either Visual South or WM Synergy, you get all that. And it's typically one of the best investments a visual ERP user or a company using visual ERP will make to improve their use of the tools. So if you've been before, there's a few new things this year. One, obviously you heard the location from Bryan. We're excited. You asked, we listened. There's also the leadership series that Bryan will be going in depth on, but we'd love to have you bring your executive team to learn how to improve business results without getting deep into the software at all. And Bryan will share more on that in a bit. There's 35 plus brand new sessions. So if you've gone before, there'll be something new for you this time. And there's also a session about learning how to migrate to the cloud, whether you want to be visual in the cloud or looking at the cloud options. So just to get you some education there, that's going to be offered as well. So a couple of things that past attendees have told both Bryan and I and others that have been to the conference are, we had one customer that said this was hands down one of the best conferences I have been to, and I hope to attend every single year. the accommodations, evening events, sessions, one-on-ones, and everything else was fantastic. And then another customer that has gone, that was a new customer that hasn't been before. This is somebody that's returned that said, this is a great way to learn about the new features of the product, especially because I'm a few versions behind. And last one I love is, I love coming to this conference, wish I could clone myself and be able to take more sessions at a time. So those are some of the reasons to attend, and I'll turn it over to you for the agenda, Bryan.
Yeah, absolutely. If you cannot clone yourself, you are able to send more than one person from your company. And we do have a lot of customers that do that, right, Paul? I mean, people will look at the agenda and they'll get a group of people to make sure that they get maximum coverage during the event. And just to reiterate, one of the things that you said, Paul, is the networking is just amazing at this event. And over the years, I've seen so many different instances of people connecting with one another, strategizing on how one company solved a particular problem, shared that with another company, and it just pays for the price of admission. So those are wonderful, real things that happen at the conference. So I'm going to talk a little bit about just the daily agenda. So, basically we're having the conference starts on a Sunday, and it starts at noon, and we're going to have sessions, educational sessions, as well as one-on-one sessions start at 2:00, and we're going to have an opening session at 5:00 on that Sunday with a welcome reception with drinks and food for everybody Sunday evening. Monday, and there's a vendor center, obviously, that's open. All of the folks that create solutions for visual will be there as well on that Sunday, so you can educate yourself on what's available out there. And when we get to Monday, it's an 8 to 5 day, full of sessions, full of one-on-ones, access to the Vendor Solution Center. And that one's going to be a free night, meaning you can go anywhere you want in Las Vegas. The options are varied and endless in Las Vegas. So that night will be free. Tuesday night is a full day as well. And we also will have a customer appreciation event that night, and it's at the House of Blues, which is in Mandalay Bay Casino. So same thing, we'll have the whole place to ourselves, bar, restaurant, music, having a really good time. And then Wednesday will be a half day. So we'll be wrapped up by lunchtime so folks can get on airplanes and head back. And just while I'm on the subject, whenever I was talking about the pricing includes all of these things. So your meals and both of the events that we're putting on. So like I mentioned, there's sessions every single day. Paul, I think you're going to go in and talk a little bit more about what's in those sessions this year.
Yeah, thanks, Bryan. And I'm looking forward to that House of Blues event. It's always a lot of fun.
Yes, sir.
Those last day events. But truly my favorite thing at Visual Focus outside of those events is seeing a customer having a light bulb moment, where somebody during a session, for example, where someone explains, I get it now. I can't wait to turn this on or change the way we're using it to improve, how we're using visual. And we see them a lot in these breakout sessions. So as mentioned, 132 sessions this year. They're about a 1 hour education session, and they're grouped by topics. So you have topics such as material management, scheduling, financial, cloud, data and business intelligence, the leadership series that Bryan's going to talk about, business process improvement, technical, manufacturing, general, so just different topics, and then sales. And those are different tracks that you have, but they're also broke down by, for folks that maybe are newer to visual, foundational, as well as advanced topics. So we try to make sure that the new sessions we put in this year also are half, foundational, beginner, in advance as well, based on survey feedback. So certainly quite a bit of learning there. Many of the sessions, have been refreshed, even if they're not brand new. So they include Visual 11 and some of the newest features, and changed based on attendee feedback from the last couple of years where it made sense. So certainly listen to all of our users and want to make sure it's a great event for you. Outside of those breakdown sessions, there's usually a couple events where we can get more folks in there. So there's the roadmap session, as I mentioned before, where we'll be doing live demos of what's coming in the software, what's new. And then there'll be roundtables as well in those sessions where you can have just an open conversation about how do you do this, and have a bunch of people answer that question if they have the same issue. So that's the breakout sessions, a lot of light bulb moments. Again, I love that. And then there's the one-on-one sessions. So in the breakout, in the roadmap session, it's usually you're in the room with a bunch of people, it's a presenter or multiple presenters. And the one-on-one sessions are usually a little bit more intimate. It's you and a consultant talking about a business problem or a technical problem that you're having with visual and you want it to get solved. So that's what the one-on-one sessions are all about. So if you're sitting there with your laptop open, log into your system potentially or not, you can have a consultant with you, or maybe you have a couple people from your company. Maybe there's a couple consultants from Visual South and WM Synergy and even Infor, and we're working on that issue and solving it right while you're there, and taking that deeper dive. And maybe it's something that you come to the conference wanting to talk about, or maybe it's something from one of the breakout sessions that you learn and you want to go take a deeper dive on that in the one-on-one sessions. And these sessions you can book in advance of the conference or when you get there. Bryan, why don't you talk a little bit about the roundtables a bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we also have roundtable sessions where basically we group birds of a feather, where people can share some of the things that they're struggling with, or some of the things that they've been able to overcome. And, we divide that up from a manufacturing perspective, a financial perspective, and a technical perspective. And it really is a good way to learn from your peers. And, a lot of times I'm amazed, we have people, Paul, that I think have been, maybe they've been to every one of these, a ton of visual experience, and they keep coming back and they're sharing their knowledge. And it's a wonderful thing to see. So, you can always come and learn something, but you can also take advantage of a whole lot of experience in one place. And so we want to try and, make sure that we get people together as much as we possibly can in a formal way to go along with all the informal discussions that go on throughout the entire conference. The other thing that we're doing that we started last year is a leadership track. And we tried this last year and we got some really, really good feedback. And that's one of the themes of the conference just in general. As we ask for feedback, we do look at it and we act on it. And so that feedback is important to us. But the leadership track is a little bit different. It's not necessarily a visual ERP focused session. As a matter of fact, there's not really anything from a visual perspective in these sessions. You're not going to see screens. They're not going to tell you how to do something in visual. It's really focused on really more performance, operational performance and excellence. And so we have sessions like how to put together a strategic plan, things to think about from a cybersecurity perspective, how to achieve sales excellence or inventory excellence, things that really sort of transcend the software, but the software is absolutely a requirement to operate properly to support those types of initiatives. And so whenever we have folks at the conference that are attending from that perspective, along with the people who can make visual do the things that it needs to do in order to achieve goals, it's a really, really powerful combination. And so the conversations that I've had with some of our customers regarding this are all super positive, and so we're looking to do more and more of that. And we encourage you, no matter what your role is, to attend those if it's something that interests you. And then in addition to that, we want to put together a leadership roundtable. Really, folks who are in a leadership position share some of the challenges that they're facing today. That could be there's all sorts of different challenges out there all the time, but we want to learn more about what those challenges are, how you're facing them, to again make all of us stronger as we move forward. There's a lot of different sessions. Paul's talked about the one-on-ones and the educational sessions on our website, which is www.focusonvisual.net. There's a full agenda and description of all of these sessions for you to check out. So feel free to jump on the website. You can really dig in and get a feel for what type of content that we're gonna have there. So Paul, I think it's time for me to bump it back over to you.
All right. So one thing that we also have during this event is a boardroom availability. So if you want to talk to Infor executives or executives from Infor and WM Synergy or and Visual South, and talk maybe about a strategic thing or something you want to dive in a bit deeper in a more private settings, we do have that boardroom available. So just know that that's there, and that can be scheduled at the reception desk. Okay. So let's talk about the property. Mandalay Bay, if you haven't been there, it's a beautiful property, 120 acres. It's at the end of the strip down near the airport. So this is really easy drive. You're getting rid of most of that traffic that you get the rest of it. So a great place to go to, but you can easily go to anywhere else in the strip from there as well. There's over 20 restaurants, all different types, from, world-class burgers to, Japanese food to Italian food. So whatever you are looking for, there's restaurants on site. There's a spa. So if you bring a significant other and you're learning in sessions and they're lucky enough to get in the spa, more power to you. And then you got the Mandalay Bay Beach, which I think is like 1.1 acres of beachfront and a wave pool, a lazy river. And one of the neat things they have there is a shark reef aquarium where kind of you can walk through it and see sharks, overhead and beside you. Don't worry, it's safe. It's in the glass, but it's right there. And then if you like to gamble after hours or during the day, it's open 24/7, but you have 147,000 square foot casino. So make sure you budget for how much you're willing to spend in the casino. I know it's you, Bryan.
That's right. There's no shortage of distractions when you're not learning about visual, right? So we're going to wrap up here. Again, our website is www.focusonvisual.net. And on the website, there's lots of information. You can register. There's an FAQ on there to cover just about everything that we've thought of that you may want to ask. And but if there's something on there that a question that you have that we did not answer, there's a place for you to click and ask your question. Our planners are very responsive, and we'll answer any question that you have in order to get you the information that you need. And we're really looking forward to seeing everybody in Vegas. Should be a wonderful combination of education and fun. And again, early bird is open right now, and it's open until July 25th. You can save yourself some money and get that off of your list. And we hope to see you there. So, Paul, was there anything that I missed there before we tell everybody goodbye?
No, I think we covered it all, most of it. Maybe if you want to see a show or Cirque du Soleil, we didn't talk about that. But outside of that, it's a great conference, and we're both looking forward to it.
Awesome. Very good. Yeah. Well, thank you, everybody. Looking forward to seeing you there.